America. Glad to have you guys all join us here from all across the country. For those that are tuning in live or those that catch the replay, we are honored to have you all. As always, Scott Carson, no guy here joining you guys here tonight. It's obviously a very busy week ahead of us as we've got Note Camp 2022 coming up here. But for those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, we are honored to have you. If you came across our videos, hey, on our YouTube channel, glad to have you here as well. We encourage you to ask questions. There are no dumb questions, just the questions that don't get asked. So we've got a lot of great stuff to cover tonight, but before we do that, Note Night America, we've been doing these calls, golly, it's hard to believe, for over 11 years now. Since 2011, coming on 12 years now. It's amazing that you guys keep showing up, and we'll keep delivering for you. But we do about 35 to 40 of these a year, depending on schedule and holidays and stuff like that. But make sure you check out the Note Night America podcast that's out there. You can anywhere you can get your podcast episodes. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch not only the videos of Note Night in America, but all of our other podcasts as well out there, including our Note Closer Show podcast, which is our 50,000 megawatt blow torch podcast, along with Note Camp Live podcast that we are pretty excited about. We'll be filming over 20 episodes this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all live here on Zoom. And we've just got an amazing group of speakers join us here. If you are not signed up for Note Camp, you can do so by going to notecamp.live and getting signed up today. Live interaction, focused on content, actions, marketing, and profit generating tips and nuggets to help you take your note and real estate investing business to the next level. So it's our largest event of the year. Ours is, we've been doing this now. This will be the 9th time we've done it in 6 years. And just keeps getting better, man. We've got a great new group of speakers for this. We've got a little bit of our staple, our staple vendors that we use on a regular basis, but we've got such a tremendous new group of speakers. I think you guys are going to love it. So check it out. You can check out the schedule by going to notecamp.live and just scrolling down, but hit the RSVP button. If you hang around, I'll give you a special discount code for those of you that are not signed up already for you tonight. But anyway, y'all are here because the topic, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge baseball fan. America's pastime. I mean, I didn't play Little League. I played it straight in high school, made the varsity as a freshman, but didn't play in college, but I ended up playing college football. But I've always been a big fan of apple pie, red, white, and blue, American flag, smell of garlic, French fries, and crab sandwiches in the San Francisco Bay Area, cold beer, hot dog with a little mustard and relish on it. But we've got some great stuff here for you. Now, I'm sitting here watching a ball game this past week, and I was like, you know what? They were talking about the 5-tool players that are out there. And if you don't know what a 5-tool player is, let me explain what that is. So a 5-tool player is somebody that excels at all 5 phases of the game of baseball. Now, what are those 5 phases? Well, the first one is being able to hit for average. Well, that seems to be a thing the last couple of years where people just hit for the long ball. They don't have a lot of great people with averages out there. I think that's a lost art where strikeouts are exceeding everything. But that's the first one, being able to hit for average on a consistent basis. Now, here's the great thing, guys. If you strike out or miss 7 times out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. So really a 300% percentage will do you well and make you an all-star. Second tool is to hit for power. This is hitting for, hitting the deep balls. Chicks dig the long ball. But hitting for power is the second tool. The third tool is throwing strength and accuracy. Some of the best power hitters have been horrible with their arm, haven't played in the field. So finding a well-rounded 5-tool player is often very difficult because you also got to throw in the fact that they've got to be able to get at running the bases. And you know what? They've also got a field. They've got to be proficient in the field. And what does that mean? That means they're playing in the outfield in the field. They're not just a designated hitter. They're just not showing up and pinch hitting once a night. They're playing on a regular basis. Now, if you're not a baseball fan, maybe some of these names may not ring a bell for you, but some of the folks that are really doing well right now, I guess you could say Mike Trout would probably be one of the best 5-tool players right now. He's a kid from New Jersey, doing well in Los Angeles. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, coming off the injured reserve list, but he's just a joy to watch play ball. I had the good fortune of watching him play quite a few times out there, and just an absolute, hope he wins a couple World Series rings before his time is up. Now, maybe you might be familiar with some of these faces. Maybe Ricky Henderson, the all-time stolen base leader, played for the Athletics and played till he was almost 40, actually. stealing bases in different leagues and stuff like that. But Ricky Henderson was a power hitter as well too, and just a great all-star outfielder and hit for average as well too, because his legs did well. You may remember Mr. Splinter himself, the last man to hit over 400, Ted Williams, for our Red Sox fans out there. And of course, I'm a big fan of growing up with Barry Bonds. Now, Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame, but he's the all-time home run hitter. I happen to believe, I don't think, even if he did take in performance-enhancing drugs, it doesn't help you with your eye-to-hand coordination. But anyway, hopefully he ends up in the Hall of Fame at some point. Just an absolute great player. Watched him in Pittsburgh and watched him just absolutely kill it in San Francisco. 6 or 7 time MVP and stuff like that. Just an absolute great outfielder. He does not get a lot of credit for his arm, but he was one of the smartest guys and average hitters, and led the league in home runs several years, including the all-time record for most in a home year. And of course, he beat Hank Aaron, who I think is one of the most original, one of the most amazing 5-tool players from back in the day. Playing for the Milwaukee Braves and the Atlanta, just absolutely all-time home run hitter till Barry's passed him, and just an absolute great guy. We get a chance to meet him. Just an absolute amazing individual, just a big heart. And so he's in the Hall of Fame up there as well for you. But, what does that mean when it comes to notes? You talk about baseball, and they're in the heat of the playoffs, stuff like that. And like I said, I'm a big Giants fan. I'm also a Yankees fan too. I like baseball. Okay. And a guy, Aaron Judge is leading the league in home runs right now, and he's just a great guy. Great outfielder, plays every day, basically when he's not injured, runs well, hits well, throws well. He's really just phenomenal, Mr. Yankee. And what does that mean if you're a note investor, though? What does it mean to have those 5 tools? Now, are you running around here playing catch? Does that help your note business? Not really. Does it help you to pull out your bat and hit a home run? No, not really. But the analogy here is that it really does take about 5 good tools to be a really good note investor, because there's a lot of moving parts in baseball. While it's easy to throw, it's easy to catch, it's not always easy to hit. It's not always easy to run bases. Not always easy to hit the cutoff man, or not even get a strike across the plate in some cases. You have to be a really great player to play the Major League. But here's the first one. So if your first tool in baseball is hitting for average, we would associate that with closing deals. You're getting deals closed. Now, you're not closing 100% of the time, but if you've got a 30% closing ratio, you're doing pretty good. For every 10 offers you make you're closing on 3 of those. That's really good. And this is an investor who continuously closes deals, not just makes one offer once every 9 days or 9 months or once every 3 months, but consistently making offers. They're consistently closing deals. They're, like I said, you can make the Hall of Fame while striking out 70% of the time. You can make the Note Hall of Fame, you stick with it for a while and keep buying deals, singles and doubles. And that's what's coming out. And a good note investor who's taking a hit for average is going to close deals with what's given to them. They're going to find deals out there. They're just not going to sit back and relax and wait for the deals to come. They're going to go out and be aggressive at the plate to go find deals that make sense for them. They're having a solid swing business. They know what their hot buttons are. They know where they want to focus on, and they go out and find those deals. Like I said, they're not hitting grand slams and home runs all the time. You're going to get by and build wealth long-term, hitting singles and doubles, stuff that you can get reperforming, people that you can get modified, they hold on for a while, or they'll deed and lieu the property back to you. There's a lot of great money made in being a singles and double investors, I like to say. But hitting for average is a great thing. There is nothing wrong with that. I would compare a lot of passive investors, or people that are just targeting performing notes, as really good hitting for average. They're looking for a good return, 8, 10, 12% or more, and they're closing deals on a regular basis because they're marketing. And it's all, they're getting hit for solid returns. So that's the first tool in being a 5 tool is closing deals on a regular basis, singles and doubles to build that cash flow. And that's one of the most important things as a note investor is looking, especially if you're looking to replace your income, is to start figuring out how many deals do I need to close to replace my income? How many performing notes do I need to get under my belt in the next 12 or 24 months so I can do what I want to do? Now, what do you think the number 2 one is? Well, that's, one of the best guys that ever hit for average, I would say, is Tony Gwynn. In the Hall of Fame, unfortunately passed away a few years back, but just a guy that no matter really where you put it, he walked a lot, he got on base, he got a lot of singles and doubles. Didn't hit a lot of home runs, but he was one of the best swingers in the game. Now, I wouldn't necessarily consider him a 5-tool player. Very smart, intelligent, but he didn't hit for a lot of power. But that's okay. He still had a Hall of Fame career. Right now, number 2 tool is in baseball is hitting for power. Well, I would say that associates with the note business is doing bigger deals. All right, you're hitting some bigger deals, bigger values. Instead of buying one-offs, you're buying some mini pools or starting to dive into the pool after. You're not afraid to swing for the fences. Now, not everybody has that going up to the plate and swinging hard thing. I get it. Some people are like, oh, I want singles and doubles. I don't want to get hit. If I don't swing heavy, I won't strike out. Well, you can still strike out by not swinging the ball. Okay, but really it's bigger deals. And the biggest thing I think is a mind block for a lot of folks is most investors only make offers solely based on what's in their checking account. If you're a true 5-tool note investor, you're not waiting on what's in your bank account. You're going out and swinging. You're going to go ahead and wait for your pitch and make offers and deals in your wheelhouse. And then if you're making contact, getting offers accepted, then you're going to go out and raise the capital. And you're going to find a way to get deals closed in a lot of variety of fashions. And here's the thing. You're looking for advantages. You're looking for things that most people aren't looking at. That's the thing about a lot of your big heavy hitters is they're scouting the pitcher. They're seeing how the ball rotates off the hand, or they see how the pitcher sets and then when he throws. If it's a curveball, his arm's way out here. If it's a strike, he might lift his leg a little higher, go straight at you. They're looking for little advantages to find deals. And that's what we see with 5-tool note investors is that they're not only hitting for power, but they're also looking for bigger deals in places most of the folks aren't doing. Okay. And they also believe the more swings they hit, the more deals they close. The more swings they hit, the more home runs they'll get, which is true. It is totally true. The more offers you make, the more deals you get, the more swings you take at. Now, you may get some more strikeouts, making offers. Oh, I missed that. I got to keep swinging for it. But eventually you make contact and knock it out of the park. All right. And one of the best guys for power and a true 5-tool player while he was healthy before he hurt his hip in the NFL is Bo. Well, we all know Bo knows baseball, right? Bo knows football. Bo knows archery. Bo knows quilting. Okay. And some of the stories when Bo was a young guy, a young kid growing up are just amazing if you ever get a chance to read the article about Bo. But he was such a powerful hitter and just amazing out there with what he did when he ran up this. There's one play he made where he ran up the wall to make a catch to steal a home run and just absolutely just murder the ball. And one of my favorite baseball things is I have a Bo Jackson Louisville Slugger bat. It's not signed, but it's got that fake signature. But I'm very happy I found it because it's worth a little bit now because they're not making it. But Bo Jackson, I think Bo knows baseball, is a great power hitter. I mean, his arms and everything like that. He threw the ball. He ran well. He is a true 5-tool baseball player, and he's also been a real 5-tool player for whatever he does. And if you didn't know this too, recently with all what happened in Uvalde, just a 5-tool person. He actually picked up the tab for a lot of the funerals for the folks and the kids that were hurt in the Uvalde shooting. Didn't ask for anything. He just stepped up to do it because it was the right thing to do. Now, the third tool as a note investor, if you're a baseball player, be throwing strength and being able to direct and being able to throw. We associate that with marketing. All right. That's what I call it. You got to be good at marketing because you got to be pitching. You got to be throwing. You've got to build a strong arm throwing from repetition, from doing it over and over again. The first time you send an email out there, it may look pretty weak, like a dead bird, dead duck flying across the plate. Okay. But the more you practice, the more you work on your mechanics, the more you hone your skills, your marketing is going to get better. You're going to know what pitch to throw to either an opponent or an investor. Hey, they're worried about this. Let's talk about this obstacle. They have these questions. Let me counter that with my pitches. Okay. A good note investor in the market, they know their numbers. Okay. They know the deal because they've broken down to due diligence. And they know how to market their offer to make it a strong offer. Okay. Now, you're going to be throwing heat when it comes to making offers. Nobody steps out of place, starts throwing 90 miles an hour right out of the womb, right off the bat. You got to get better at it. You got to hone your skills. You got to work on your mechanics like anything else when it comes to making offers and raising capital. And marketing is really what ties those two together. And the only way you get better at that, the only way you be a better pitcher or better good at throwing is to throw more often, to practice it. When I was a young kid, I didn't have a lot of coaching before I got to high school, and I was all wild all over the place. But my coach, Coach Marquardt, We had a really good baseball program. Spent time with me. He said, okay, just keep practicing, practice. And I got really good where I could hit the catcher from center field. I'm pretty good my sophomore year. And that's the thing, is it comes down from practicing and throwing. And a lot of time, that's what marketing is. You're throwing stuff on a regular basis. Hey, we're looking for deals. Hey, we've got deals. We're looking for capital. It's throwing on a regular basis, but you got to stay consistent, because the minute you stop throwing, your marketing gets weak, and you don't want to do that. Okay. Now, one of the greatest arms out there that's not throwing soft toss was an idol of mine growing up, and that's Nolan Ryan. Okay. Who hasn't heard Nolan Ryan? They have just had this documentary come out on, I don't know if it's Netflix or Amazon Prime, just a great hour documentary on Nolan Ryan. And if you didn't know this, you don't know who Nolan Ryan is. He's the all-time strikeout leader, 5,700 strikeouts, 7 no-hitters, 324 wins, and pretty good for a young kid from Alvin, Texas. All right. But most people didn't know that he pitched until he was 46 years old. I'm 45. He pitched for another year in the major leagues. Now, what most folks our age think about might be either the time that Bo Jackson hit a comebacker and it popped Nolan Ryan in the face and split his lip right open. He didn't leave. He's out there, pitched the game off with blood all over his uniform. For those of us that are used to dealing with some young brats out there, folks who think they know everything, this was the battle cry. And this is the number one question Nolan Ryan gets today from his friends and family, because he's still around here. He's actually son's own a couple minor league baseball teams, the Round Rock Express here, the Corpus Christi Hooks down in Corpus Christi. And he's just a great guy. But he talks about number one question he gets oftentimes is this. At 46, when Nolan Ryan at 46 took Robin Ventura to the face, loved it. And it's the only time when somebody swung at another player and the person that got hit got ejected, not the guy throwing the swing, throwing the punch. And so there's a little bit of bad blood between the White Sox, and Ryan accidentally hit Robin Ventura, and Ventura ran them out, and Ryan was right there ready to rock and roll. And this is the number one. When Ryan made it into the Hall of Fame a few years back, this was the number one photo that was purchased that he was asked to sign, still to this day. And it just goes to tell you, he was in good condition. He worked at his business for 27 years. He pitched in the majors. Now, he didn't bat. He was not a very good hitter, but he was the ultimate five-tool player when it came to being a pitcher. And just an amazing, still a great guy, still very active around the area and stuff like that for it. But that's my idea. So he wasn't afraid to get in there and throw it in. Now, he's most known, like I said, for the strikeouts and the wins and the 7 no-hitters, but they don't know that he also had almost one of the most losses. He also had the most wild pitches, the most walks. He led the majors in a lot of other categories as well, besides the ones that he's known about. But that goes to show you, when you're a Hall of Famer, hey, you're going to mess up. How many times did he walk somebody versus winning? And he barely had, I think it was 325 and like 275, something like that. It wasn't too big a difference in his win-loss rate, but he just showed up on a day in, day out basis and really, really dominated out there. Now, the fourth tool, if you're an active baseball player, would be base running. Be able to run the bases well and smart, and not get picked off or do something stupid, because you don't want to get tagged up and cost your teaming out. And for us as note investors, I compare base running to your workout strategy. You're really kind of running around the bases, making sure that everything is being taken care of. Okay, that you don't get thrown out by bars, you don't get thrown out by taxes, you don't get thrown out by the due diligence of the file not working properly out for you. Okay, you've got to know your operations, got to know what's on, how many outs there are, what to do on a line drive hit. You've got to know your exit strategies out there, and then know also how to be able, hey, when can I steal a base? Okay, when can I speed things up a little bit versus having to wait around to walk or hoping that the guy behind me hits it? When can I steal a bag or two? Okay, you got to have solutions to problems, because that's the great thing about us as note investors. We make our money as note investors solving problems. We're dealing with the problem children of other banks and other lenders. And that's the thing, is a good base runner is going to look at the picture, especially if you're sitting on first. They're looking at what's going on. They're picking out deals and things that are going to happen. When they see something happen, they act upon it. Like if you're if you're at first and you're watching a left-handed pitcher facing you, you don't look at the ball. You look at his knee. His knee goes home. So when he comes in a standing, he stands up. The minute that knee goes forward, you take off. Because if he goes forward and then throws, that's called the balk. You get awarded second base. Okay. So you got to know those little tricks and watch. But you also got to be careful because if that knee starts coming forward, you better skedaddle back to first base for getting picked off. And that's the thing. You got to know your strategies and know what's going on and act upon them. Act upon them and run when you can. Okay. You take action as a note investor instead of waiting around. This is the thing that really drives me bonkers is seeing investors like, oh, I'm waiting around. Instead of sending via FedEx, I'm going to send it via snail mail. I'm like, speed things up. There's a lot of things you can do to speed up. Although the note business is a lot of hurry up and waiting sometimes. Sometimes we get some rain delays. Okay. But as a good 5-tool note investor, you're taking action and you're being aggressive in the base path, but also knowing when to steal, when to run, when to tag up, and when to slide, and when just to walk on home. Okay. And obviously the best base stealer, best base runner of all time was Ricky Anderson, the all-time major league leader in steals. Great guy, great competitor out there. And most people don't know that the day that he stole his when he beat Lou Brock's record, Nolan Ryan actually threw a new hitter May 15th, 1991. As well, they both made history on the same day. Now, the 5th tool is fielding. Are you a good fielder? Okay. And in note investing and real estate investing, I kind of associate that to directing, delegating traffic. You've got to direct your vendor team. You got to know when to act. Your team, your VAs, your servicing company, your attorneys. You've got to position yourself and your team to be able to make plays for you. So if something's hit their way, boom, you send it to your attorney. Boom, it goes to the servicing company. Boom, you've got to go into the taxes to double check that stuff. You can't be a jack of all trades. You don't see let's just make it. There's players in baseball that are utility fieldmen. They're in the major leagues because they can play multiple positions, but they're not really great at every position. Otherwise, they'd be starting third base or shortstop, but they do have some people that play second and short. They kind of fill in the position. That's great. That makes them flexible. Every major league team has 1 or 2 utility people that can play a few different positions. You see a lot of catchers that end up going and playing first base, or they play designated hitter as they get old and their knees and legs get a little tired. But you need to be able to field your position. That's one of the most important things about this is knowing what you have going on. If you don't, when you get an email in or you're looking at a deal and you don't know what it means, you need to figure that out. It doesn't always mean I hate to ask somebody. You've got to be active in going out there and finding what that answer is and then knowing what to do with it. Okay. Now here's the thing. The only way you get better at fielding is with repetition and practice. And I often compare, I don't know if you guys are major league team or movie buffs, but major league. If you remember the first major league when Tom Berenger, was sitting there as a catcher, and then Roger Dorns, the third baseman who didn't want to get in front of the ball, and finally the coach made him get down. And at the end of training camp, he's got all these bruises from taking these line drives, these round balls, but he got better at his position. It's the same thing with us. The only way you get better at buying notes in Florida is buy notes in Florida and work through them. The only way you get better in doing workouts is working them out with a borrower or working out with your servicing company. Now, the great thing is you don't have to play all positions. You just got to have your team in the right spot. And you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make errors. All right. You have to learn from your errors. And a lot of times an error is made because you've got bad mechanics. Your feet's not right. You're on your back, getting your heels versus on your toes. You're playing too shallow or too deep in the outfield, or you're just not paying attention the right way. So you're not covering the bag when you're supposed to be covered. There's a lot of things that you can do, but you got to learn from your errors. Everybody makes errors. Okay. Everybody makes errors. But the beautiful thing on this is, hey, you can fix it by working on your mechanics and working through it over and over again. And you're going to make mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Quit trying to do the perfect deal where everything is just absolutely perfect, where you don't have to do anything. That deal does not exist. Yes, foreclosures may take longer. It may take longer for mail to come in. It may take longer for a foreclosure trial. It happens. You know what a good financial will be? They go out and keep doing more deals. They don't wait on one deal to close and be all the way through before they go another one. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Constantly working through these things in a lot of cases. And it's the thing is, I think about some of the best defenders out, the best fielders, like the Wizard of St. Louis, Ozzie Smith. I think of, the guys, I can't think of what their names are. Not Paul Molitor, but Robin Ute and the guys that played second and short for the Brewers were really good. You think about some of the best teams out there. They'll always have a pretty good up the middle, a good second baseman, usually a good third baseman, or no, sorry, shortstop to handle a lot of that stuff. They're throwing the teams, they're directing, they're the captain of the infield. Okay. And here's the thing: if you're good at fielding and good at knowing what's going on, you can honestly squeeze another 8 to 10% annually out of your ROI, out of your performance, by acting and not waiting around. You're aggressive in your defense. You're aggressive in your fielding, going out and making things happen. Let's get this done. Let's get this taken care of. Let's not procrastinate. Let's go ahead and get this done and sent in. Let's go ahead and take this action. Let's get this filed, so that you're not playing defense from a negative position. You're playing more defensive offensively to make things happen. Okay. And I think one of the best fielding guys out there, Hall of Famer, he was the best shortstop, and then later in his career, went to third. Just an absolute guy, Cal Ripken Jr. Whole family of Ripkins played baseball. Him and his brother and his dad are the only father and sons to play together when it was back in 85 for the Orioles, when their dad was the manager, and him and his brother, he played shortstop, and then his brother played second there for the Orioles. And so a little baseball history there for you. But, I also think there's a great series out right now. I can't wait to go back and watch it all. But I think one of the best shortstops to ever play the game. Derek Jeter, the captain. He was a great defender. He hit for average. I mean, I've always hit for power, but he could really hit when he needed to, and just an absolutely amazing character of a man. And I think I've got a number 2 jersey hanging in my closet right now from Derek Jeter. But he's just an absolute. You think about somebody who showed up, who put up with the pressure of the media day in, day out, and his job was to show up. It wasn't to talk a lot. It was to just show up, and he let his actions on the field speak loudly. And that's why I think he's one of the most beloved shortstops, players. Especially one of the most likable Yankees in a long, long time out there, Mr. Derek Jeter out there for you. So now, let's do a quick recap on these 5 tools here for you. Now, it's always, like I said, 1 is hitting for average, and it's getting deals closed, singles and doubles, getting some stuff in. Doesn't be perfect, may not be a grand slam, but it's producing a pretty good ROI to you. And of course, when you're ready, boom, and you see something you really do, you act on it, you take a big swing and hit for power. You definitely pull those bigger deals, hit for power, go out and make things happen on the number 2 side. The third tool, obviously, is marketing, throwing your marketing around. You're not going to have a perfect pitch, but you're going to get some things that work well for your marketing. Not everything, but maybe you got a good fastball, maybe you got a good curveball. Maybe there's 3 or 4 things that you identify with in your marketing that pays off for you because it's what your audience identifies with, and they're really great money pitches for you. Okay. Of course, running the bases, making sure you're not getting picked off, making sure you know what's going on, and keeping the deal flow moving, keeping that spot, keeping that momentum moving, because that's one of the great things about successful entrepreneurs in any type is they keep the momentum moving. They don't get stagnant. They're not sitting around, just standing around. They're on their toes, and they're constantly moving, ready for that pitch, ready to steal that base or to avoid from being picked off out there. And of course, you got to be fielding your business. If you're not fielding your business, directing traffic, helping team to make plays, you're probably just riding the bench and watching other people have success. Nobody wants to ride the pine tar. Nobody wants to sit in there just chewing sunflower seeds and bubble gum. They would rather be on the field playing ball. And I know that's one of the great things is most people learn the most from doing their first deal, because you're like, oh, this was not as hard as I thought it was, or this was a little bit different than that. You're going to learn the most from doing your first deal. But a lot of times we're head cases, right? There is a 6th tool. There's actually a 6th tool. And I think you would know this, all right? But the 6th tool, it comes down to the mental game, okay? Every Hall of Famer has something in common, just like every successful entrepreneur. You're not only a student of the game, okay? You weren't afraid to make mistakes, all right? Get out there, you learn from your mistakes, you'll learn by doing. You practice. Now I sound like, unless of course you're Allen Iverson from the Sixers. We're talking about practice. Practice, y'all. Practice. No. The way you play good in the game is you practice good. That's what our coaches taught us. And you got to practice. You're not good. Guess what? You can get better at your craft by practicing. That's the only way to get better. Here's the number one thing. They were all coachable. All of the Hall of Famers, all the people that made it to the major leagues and stayed, they were all coachable. They all took guidance. Nobody gets to the major leagues being a know-it-all. You're constantly figuring in with your swing, or you're figuring with your pitches, you're working on your mechanics. It's one of the greatest that's what I love about Major League, is that you've got these different levels of experience to go up to help you on your path to get to where you need to be. We don't have that in a lot of sports out there. But that's the thing. They're all coachable, and they all had a strong can-do mindset. Now, we've all seen professional players and athletes out there who are amazing at what they do, but they just piss it away because they have a crappy mindset. They're not coachable. They think they know everything, or they're out hanging with people that don't have that strong mindset. They're hanging around the wrong crowd. You think about what happened just to the San Diego shortstop Fernando Tatis with an 80-game suspension for using performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, he didn't play this year because he was injured. He broke his wrist on a motorcycle, not playing ball. That's a stupid thing. That's not smart. Okay, when we see that too, as real estate investors, entrepreneurs, you've got to have a strong can-do mindset, because you know what? You're going to get kicked in the teeth. You're going to get kicked in the shins. Things are not always going to go right. But you know what you do? I can do this. I can do this. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. If you stick with it long enough, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You'll start hitting singles and doubles and making things happen. Now, you can be in the Hall of Fame. For us as note investors, that Hall of Fame is what you want it to be in a lot of cases. Hall of Fame investors, though, make more offers. They lose more offers than most of the others make. Okay, they're constantly honing their craft, their business. They're getting better. They don't want to be the smartest person in the room. They want to be the dumbest person in the room. They want to surround themselves with great individuals. They're always looking for opportunities and acting markets, strategies to help them find deals or make things happen when others are just sitting around twiddling their thumbs or sucking on their thumb. Okay, and here's the thing: they're just not focused on one little strategy of note investing. They're focused, okay, this is a note. Yes, it's one strategy with note investing, but they're focused on a couple. They're a little flexible when it comes to it. The note investors that I see that fail or that fall off, or they're just focused on one strategy. They buy one note with one strategy in mind, and when it doesn't go right there, they give up. Oh, this doesn't work, and move on. I've seen it happen many times. They're also not afraid to strike out and swing for the fences. You look at those that have been around the longest, they're the ones that have been hit. They've done great deals. They've done a lot of average deals, and they've had a few bad ones along the way. If you show me an investor that's never done a bad deal, I'll show you somebody who's not really an active investor, okay? Because all successful investors that are around for the long haul, they learn from their mistakes. I've learned the most from my mistakes over my 15 years as a note investor, and I guarantee I'm a lot smarter than I will not be making those same mistakes I've made before, all right? And that's what you want to learn. You want to learn from somebody who's made mistakes and say, hey, don't step on that hole. Don't do that. Tie your shoelaces like this. Tuck your shirt and make sure you're looking the part. Make sure you're taking the part. Make sure you're in your stance. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll as a note investor. So that way, when deals are hit your way, you're ready to gobble those up and act on them. Okay, and you're ready to make the play. Okay. Now, one of my favorite players growing up. My parents. I was born in Minnesota, but I grew up being a big Minnesota Twins fan. And my favorite player was Kirby Puckett, the little pudgy Puckett, who played center field for the Minnesota Twins, won 2 World Series, one in '87. Is when I really was excited as a 10-year-old kid watching the Minnesota Twins beat the St. Louis Cardinals in '87 to win the World Series. But more importantly, it's a few years later when Minnesota went from worst to first and beat the Atlanta Braves in the World Series. And Puckett had an amazing 7-game series. If Blackjack Morris hadn't pitched so well and won 3 games for the Twins, they probably wouldn't have won the World Series, but Puckett would have gotten the MVP besides Blackjack Morris. But I think back, there was 2 defining moments in that series that stand out more than anything else, okay? John Series, one of my favorites. Yeah, it was too sad. He was gone way before his time. But was when Kirby stole a home run for the Atlanta Braves, and then in the bottom of the ninth, he hit, or it was bottom of the ninth at the time, I can't remember. He hit the game-winning home run to send it to 7 games. And I can remember standing up and shouting, and the hair in the back of my neck as a young kid as he hit that. And you can hear the announcer, and we'll see you tomorrow night. You know, Buck announcing, we'll see you tomorrow night for Game 7. And that applause and the roar in the Metrodome and everybody going crazy. It's one of the things that made me fall in love with baseball. And, you know, it's great that he's won 2 World Series and all, you know, as a Hall of Famer and just absolutely a huge Minnesota Twins fan. I mean, if you're a Minnesota Twins fan, you're a fan of Kirby Puckett. Even if you're not a fan of Minnesota Twins, you were a fan of how he played the game. But you got to think he's had a pretty good, solid career out there. Now, I think one of the great things I want to share with you guys, there's another Twin, a guy that was drafted by the Twins, played a few years, and released by the Twins, which was one of the biggest mistakes the Twins ever made, is that they gave up on a player. They gave up on a guy, couldn't hit a curveball for a while, had a big gaping hole in their swing, and they released him. And that guy didn't give up on himself. He got picked up by another club. He worked on it, worked on his swing. He worked on getting better and better and better. And eventually he became one of the most amazing power hitters, one of the most clutch hitters that we've ever seen in baseball. And who am I talking about? Well, he's now a Hall of Famer. He's Big Papi, David Ortiz. Now, David, I wouldn't say he's a 5-tool player because he's fielding. His base running is not the greatest, but he did enough to get by. But when it comes to, if you think about the series that the Red Sox won in 7 games to beat the Yankees in the American League pennant to go on to the World Series, and the drama being down 3 games to none and coming back, and how Papi had 3 or 4 game-winning hits and or home runs in the series, and I went on and did it again and again. That's the thing. But I wanted to bring him up because, you know, a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we're honing our skills and we give up, or somebody gives up on us. If you've got coaches that are chewing your butt or they're on you, it's because coaches care. They want you to be successful. The minute your coaches stop yelling at you or stop critiquing you or telling you to get better, that's when you have to worry. If you've never played professional sports or been on a team, most people don't understand that. They get adults and somebody's like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. It's not anything out of spiteful. It's there because they care. They want you to avoid making mistakes because they've made that mistake before. And if I could have a beer with anybody that's in the major leagues right now or is retired right now, it'd be Nolan Ryan again, but I'll also be with David Ortiz, because just a friendly, fun-loving guy. He just is what he is. And he's a Hall of Famer because he didn't give up on himself. He got some new coaches and he perfected his swing. And that's why he's multiple world champions and in the Hall of Fame, wearing that nice, was it the yellow blazer in the Hall of Fame out there? But guys, are there any questions about that? But that's the thing. It's those 5 tools: being able to hit for average, hit for power, throwing, fielding, base running, and guess what? Having that 6th tool, a positive mind, a strong, positive mental attitude out there. And I'm really, really excited for what we're bringing to the table here this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at C.A.M.P. If you guys, we've got some tremendous coaches that have expertise on a variety of things. We've got some students come and talk about their lessons learned. People have closed on deals, servicing companies, attorneys, investors helping you raise capital. People are doing stuff. People know how to structure your deals. People help you market it. We're here to help you make it in the major leagues, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't signed up yet, the early bird price has expired. It's no longer $99. It's $149 right now. And if you use the code NNA, if you have not bought your ticket, you go to notecamp.live and use the code NNA, it'll knock $50 off the price. So that price, it could be $99 or it could be $149 or $249, because the price is going to be going up each day as we get closer to Thursday out there for you. Dwayne says, Scott, you nailed this Zoom call with a baseball connection. Whoa. Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate that. Dwayne Cashflow. I like that name, buddy. But that's the thing, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it for you. You got to have a little fun. Jay says, enjoyed your talk tonight. I have a basic question. Would this note buying business help with converting a lender loan to an owner financing of my rental property? If so, how can I about this as a loan renewal is coming up? No, it will not. Okay, that's a great question, Jay. But if you have a institutional loan, you have a bank that has a lender has a note on your property in a first lien position, you can't convert that to an owner finance loan. It doesn't work that way. That loan would need to be paid off with somebody coming in and paying off that loan. And then you could have a private investor pay that loan off and then owner finance, but it's not going to be at par or the full value. That's a longer conversation, Jay, than what we would cover here. I encourage you to get signed up for NoteCamp. We'll talk about a little bit of that throughout that with Max Bailey and Nick from USA Note Pro, Will Henning, and Rachel. We've got several people talking about owner finance, origination, stuff like that. And we can also schedule a call coming up. So how can I go about this as a loan renewal is coming up? Yeah, you're not going to be able to have somebody owner finance a renewal. You need either get it renewed or get refinanced out. Now, if you had an investor that was going to lend you money, they could pay off that and then you'd be paying them. That would be like an owner finance deal. But that wouldn't be owner finance. That'd just be a refinance. Owner finance, you'd have to be the seller of the property and sell it to somebody else and carry terms on that. That's what it comes down to. So I don't know. Does that make sense for you, Jay? Hopefully it does. But anyway, you can always book a call with me by going to talkwithscottcarson.com. That's talkwithscottcarson.com and schedule. It's going to be a little sparse on the next couple of days. And then also next week, too, guys and gals, we are really jacked up. We have our Note Mastermind taking place here in Austin, Texas for the first time in 2 years. We're really excited about that. We're going to have probably around 30, 35 Note investors come in and spend 3 days with us, the 26th, 27th, 28th here in Austin. So if you want to find out more information about that, let me know. Message me at scott@wecloseNotes.com and I'll send you some information and see if you're a fit for it. You may not be a fit, and that's okay. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. For the baseball fans, if you are not signed up, guys, do yourself a favor. Get signed up for Note Camp. Can't make it this Thursday through Sunday. The replays are included with your ticket price. You'll get all the replays, all the videos sent out to you probably by that Wednesday, the following Wednesday for you. I'm going to get, usually we do it by Tuesday, but I'm going to give myself to Wednesday just because we have a back-to-back event with the Mastermind after Note Camp. And I know we're going to have somewhere between 300 and 500 attendees at Note Camp. So we're really excited about this. 4 full days, 9 to 5. So many people were excited to be a part. We ended up bumping it out to 4 days to add in a few extra speaking spots. So get signed up, notecamp.live. That'll take you to the main website. Let me just go ahead and share that with you guys here real fast because we got a few more minutes. So if you go to Note Camp Live, yeah, you can tell I'm a sports fan, right? Takes you to the website here. If you'd like to see the full schedule, that's hard to believe. We're now, what is that, 60, 71, 70, 75 hours out from it. But that'll take you here. You can see the speakers a little bit. If you scroll down here, this is the schedule here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's all right there for you. Who's speaking, what time. You can attend as much as you want. But like I said, all the replays are included out there. And get ready to rock. And Melanie, incredible baseball analogy today. Scott loved it. Good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We like to have a little fun and make some things happen. I can tell you, baseball helped me as an entrepreneur. And back in 2010, I basically sold everything I owned here in Austin, Texas, except for my truck and my dog and some clothes. And I went on what I thought would be 30 weeks of travel in the country, turned into 3.5, 4 years of nonstop travel. Started off with me catching the Rangers, second game of the season. And then one of the most exciting games of that 3-year period was actually catching the Giants clinch the pennant in San Francisco, and Travis Ishikawa hitting a 9th inning walk-off home run to win the pennant and send them to the World Series for their 3rd series in 5 years. And big Giants fan out there for you. But Big Twins, I just love baseball. Doesn't care what it is, little league, high school, college, pro, whatever it is, minor league. Hey, I like my dogs with mustard and relish and some cold flat beer, baby. So go out, take some action. Hopefully we'll see you all at Note Camp, guys. Once again, notecamp.live. Use the code NNA. That's all caps. Click on the green button to reserve. It'll take you to the checkout page. You'll see the discount code up at the top right hand there for you to get the price reduced, that $50 discount. So thank you so much for being on here tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. And hopefully we'll see you Thursday morning at 9 a.m. for notecamp.live. Peace, everybody. Thanks, RJ.